The Berlin Wall was a concrete barrier that once cut through the city of Berlin, dividing families, friends, and a nation. But it was far more than just a war. It was a symbol of the Cold War and of political ideologies clashing. After World War II, Germany, once a powerful empire, laid in ruins. The Allies, which were the United States, Great Britain, France, and the Soviet Union, divided the country into four zones, with Berlin, the capital city, split in half despite its location deep inside Soviet-controlled East Germany. West Berlin, which was controlled by the Allies, became an island of freedom within the Communist East. Throughout the 1950s, Berlin remained open. People could travel between East and West freely, crossing the invisible line that separated two very different worlds. But while life in West Berlin was prospering under capitalism, life in East Berlin was grim. Communist policies led to economic stagnation, food shortages, and strict government control. By the late 1950s, thousands of East Germans were fleeing to the West every single day, seeking for better opportunities and freedom. For the Soviet Union and the East German government, this was a problem they couldn't afford to ignore. Then, on the night of August 13, 1961, something unimaginable happened. In the early hours, while the city slept, East German soldiers began erecting a wall. Streets were sealed off, barbed wire was strung across neighborhoods, and concrete blocks soon followed. Berliners woke up to find that their city, which was once united, was split in two. Families were separated, friends were cut off, jobs were lost, and the wall, which started as just a crude barrier, soon evolved into a fortified structure, lined with guard towers, barbed wire, and a deadly death strip, where anyone attempting to escape was shot on sight. But with all this, some found ways to communicate across the divide, shouting across rooftops or waving from windows. But others took more daring risks. There were tunnel diggers, balloon makers, and even those who crafted homemade submarines, all trying to outsmart the heavily guarded border. Some succeeded, but many lost their lives in the attempt. The Berlin Wall quickly became the most potent symbol of the Cold War. On one side, the West used it as a rallying cry for freedom, while on the other, the East justified it as a defense against fascism and Western influence. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy stood in West Berlin and delivered his famous speech declaring,
Ich bin ein Berliner,
sending a powerful message of solidarity with the people of Berlin. The world watched, but the wall stood firm. By the late 1980s, cracks in the system were beginning to show. The Soviet Union under Mikhail Gorbachev was struggling to maintain control over its satellite states. Protests began to erupt across Eastern Europe, and East Germans started demanding their own reforms. In Leipzig, peaceful protests attracted hundreds of thousands of people, chanting for freedom and change. The East German government, caught off guard, tried to suppress the movement, but the tide had turned. The people were no longer willing to leave behind the wall. Then, on the night of November 9, 1989, something extraordinary happened. In a press conference, a miscommunication by an East German official led to the announcement that the borders were open. Crowds surged towards the wall, and the guards, which were confused and overwhelmed, opened the gates. Berliners flooded the streets, climbing over the once impenetrable wall, chipping away at it piece by piece. After 28 years of division, Berlin was united once again.